Janet Gormley doesn't do things quite like everyone else. She has TAR syndrome and has no radiuses in her lower forearms. Things like making coffee are more difficult for her, but she says it's all a part of living with her disability. But she also has to live with anxiety caused by her disability, and she's turned to art, among other things, to help her cope.
I'm a person who's a risk taker. I see a goal, I go after it. I kind of blindly charge at it, but I go for what I've always wanted.
She says she's had to learn how to do things her own way, and art helped. But Janet says even with her art, her anxiety can come at any time, any day. Reaching things at high levels can be nerve-wracking. So can everyday tasks, like doing laundry in her dorm.
Anything from the biggest thing of having to go through a surgery to the smallest thing of trying to get something down from a high shelf can cause me anxiety.
She's even been asked whether she can wipe herself.
Especially when I was a child, I was moved out to a smaller rural community from St. John. And it was a community where they weren't used to people with disabilities. And I get a lot of staring, a lot of odd looks. Sometimes I get very odd questions. Like, oh, were you in an accident? Or I'm just doodling pencil crayon. I was bored in art history. Some of the drawings I can look at them and I can remember what I was doing at that time. Yeah.
But she enjoys all the same things we do, and she says despite her anxiety, it's a rewarding triumph over her disability.
Please don't eat my knitting. She doesn't normally, but...
Lee Thomas is a champion when it comes to mental illness. She is now a motivational speaker and advocate for those with mental illness. Lee is living with ADHD, bulimia, and bipolar disorder. She speaks to young people around the province and in Canada about ending the stigma. She too spends time knitting and doing yoga to help her deal with her challenges. Lee also got herself a dog, a pit bull named Peyton, a fun-loving, kind of shy companion whom she says helps her a lot.
But it's not what makes you who you are. So, you can still be an interesting and unique and dynamic human being and live with a mental health issue, and you can still have a mental health issue and be a unique and interesting and dynamic human being.
Lee says it's about finding what makes you happy and using that to make a life a little easier. Janet does that too. She's found her own way of doing the laundry. She leans into the machine, but can't reach low enough to get her laundry out. So she finds another way. A claw to get her laundry out of the washing machine and into the dryer. She says this is one of those things you just have to adjust to. And laundry is just one of the obstacles. A door inside a campus building is far too high for Janet to reach, so sometimes she's forced to run and jump to push the door open. Accessibility, she says, is a problem everywhere. All of these cause Janet anxiety, but art, friendship, and appreciation for how far she's come allows her to put things into perspective.
Don't remember a time I didn't do art. I've always had something that marks on another type of medium, whether it was crayons on the wall or pencil and paper or paint in the carpet. I've always had something. And when I was a kid in school, especially in elementary, I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't really interact very well with the other children. The other children did not interact with me. The only thing that I could find free was the art easel.
Lee echoes that determination. She says she's met many people who find their own way to deal with their mental illness. Art, yoga, and even pets.
One of the stories that always really sticks with me is Sam, or Samantha, who is a face of the My Definition campaign. So I sat down with Sam and I said, "Why do you want to be a face of the My Definition campaign?" And she said, I was having a lot of anger issues, and it was really affecting my relationship with my partner and with my child. And my partner really wanted me to get help, and I was afraid to do that because, for a variety of reasons, all of which kind of add up to stigma.
Janet lives in a St. Thomas University residence and can't have pets, so she keeps a fish at her dorm, but at home, she has a very friendly companion named Apollo. Janet says Apollo makes sure she goes on her daily walk, which helps with her anxiety in a big way. She had Apollo since she was 6 years old, and he turned 6 very soon. They have a unique bond, and Janet says having Apollo has really helped her in her recovery. Lee also says finding ways to cope with mental illness allows people to be more open, and told that to an audience at TEDx in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
No one ever would have guessed that she was really, really sick. So as you might have guessed, I was that 12-year-old girl, but as you might not have guessed, I was also one of the people who didn't know that I was sick.
She wonders why she tells people her story, but to her, storytelling is a powerful way to overcome her challenges. And Janet feels the same way. Telling her story is another way she can help ease her anxiety. She hasn't needed a blood transfusion since she was 3 years old, which helps ease her anxiety about her health issues. Janet's pursuing a career helping those just like her. Much like Thomas, she wants to empower people into believing that there is life with physical and mental illness. Thomas is rolling out a bunch of My Definition campaigns across the Maritimes, which is a campaign designed to give awareness to people that mental illness is a part of you but does not define you, and hopes to continue inspiring those around her. Janet will be continuing at St. Thomas University, and like the survivor she is, will keep on keeping on. For Stu Journalism, I'm Natalie Sturgeon.